so much by, going back to school. I'm like, oh, dog, this is so enlightening. Like, this is where this came from. Or I feel like I can talk a little bit different or talk more about a certain subject because I know the ins and outs for it
And
because
you
I'm
got that life
studying it.
experience.
And coupled with that life experience, it makes it better conversation when you're speaking with people that is already in your area or that has a higher degree.
Yeah.
It's a different conversation.
What's up, fam? Before we get into today's episode, I want you to go check out our website at www.igotdreamspodcast.com and subscribe to our emailing list. We are creating the ultimate accountability group for entrepreneurs. So if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a business leader, if you are a dreamer, we want you to be a part of our group. All you got to do is go to www.igotdreamspodcast.com and subscribe to our emailing list, and we'll take it from there. This thing is going to be bigger than us, and we want you to be a part of it. Again, go to www.igotdreamspodcast.com and subscribe to our emailing list. Now, let's get back to the show. What's going on, good people? Welcome to another episode of the I Got Dreams podcast, the ultimate accountability podcast, where we talk about our future goals and dreams and how to help each other accomplish that goal. Today, I have a good friend of mine, Miss Angelita Parham. I'm going to start over.
People need to see it.
They need to see it.
Yes.
Okay, Angelita Parham. We just had this discussion like right before we started, right? And you told me you're not a ham. It's Parham.
Yeah, it's Parham.
Gotcha.
I always tell people I'm not a ham. Like, please, I know I'm kind of thick, but do not make me a ham.
Gotcha. That's my fault. But yes, people need to see that. Hey, we are striving to perfection. We're not perfect. We're striving to it, right?
Exactly.
Right. So I'm so glad to have you here today.
I'm excited to be here. This is like, you chose me. I'm like, okay, well, let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it. So let's just start out like telling the people who you are. Giving some background about yourself.
Yes. Well, of course, you guys. My name is Angelita Parham. A lot of people know me as Angie Steele. Angie being the nickname.
Angie Steele
being the old, maiden name. I am a 20-year hairstylist. I have had jobs, but jobs don't have me. The entrepreneurship has pretty much been my life. I've owned things since I was about 18 years old. Always have had a creative spirit and always put myself in spaces and places like that. You want to know my background, where I'm from?
Yeah.
I am from the Westwood Indian Hill area. It doesn't get talked about a lot. The Indian Hill area. That's where old Levi Elementary, all of that is off of South 3rd Street. That was the place to be with lots of great memories. And so there we have it. Yeah.
Put them on the map.
Yeah, put them on the map, I say.
Right. That's a community here in Memphis, right?
It is a community here in Memphis. Westwood was known for so many things. The Rose Bowl Parade that we marched in, the Mickey Merry Christmas Parade that we opened up on Christmas Day, and a ton of other great things as well.
Awesome. I didn't know that history, so that was dope.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Cool. So tell us about your business, right? So what is your dream for your business?
Yes, well, I own SteeleDivine Cosmetics and salon. I have to add that in. During the pandemic, everybody had to pivot in some type of way. And with me being in the beauty industry, hairstylists could not go into their salons and work as well as barbers. So I was sitting on Facebook one day just watching people doing all these transactional things. And I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all, we need to save our money. We don't know if this is the apocalypse or what's going on. And it just gave me a charge, and that charge was to create something. And so I created at that time a lipstick line. And once I produced it, it sold out. And then I realized I was on to something. And 3 years later, after marketing and doing my research and hosting classes, getting my audience and attention, and them buying it from me, sparked now the first Black-owned cosmetic store in Whitehaven.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. So that's dope. So you already made a lot of traction right now. So where do you see that that business going in the next 5 years?
Okay. Oh my goodness, 5 years is a long time, but it's
That's the
not. It's
dream,
really,
right?
it is the dream, but it's
Yeah.
really a short time. What I am doing now, I am building this business up. You can come into the boutique, the cosmetic boutique, and you can get your makeup done. You can buy cosmetics, which is a black brand locally owned in Memphis, Tennessee. I definitely am pushing to get it on the shelves. Um, it's so much that is coming into play. I am joining every cohort that I could get into because sometimes they provide a lot of leverage when you're getting out there. I've gotten my business certified, but most definitely would like to see my products in maybe Ulta or Sephora, places like that.
Yeah. Awesome. And you mentioned before that you've been in this industry for 20 years,
Yeah.
right? So how did you actually get into this industry? Like what was that inspiration?
Yeah, so my aunt, who I love very dearly, my mom's baby sister, my aunt Judy, I had just had my
Shout out to
daughter,
Aunt Judy.
right? I had just had my daughter Destiny, and she said, "Hey, I just need to know: are you gonna go finish your degree, or are you gonna go get a trade? You need to do something because by the time this baby gets 5 years old, you want to be able to go to the field trips and do things like that, and not have to be weighed down with trying to finish school and that being a lot on me." So I guess what she was saying is it's easier for us to help you now than that baby getting bigger and missing and remembering the times where you were not there. And so I thought about it because at that time I was at Belhaven. I said, you know what? I think I'm gonna go get a trade. Come to find out, my dad, his sisters were all hairstylists. Didn't know that, and then I had a stepsister that did hair, and I was like, you know what? Let me try this out, and it ended up working, for me. So
Mhm.
here we are, 20 years later, hairstylist now, cosmetic store.
Awesome. So you said that you had a decision to make, right? Whether
Yeah.
you were going to get your degree. Like, were you already in college?
Yes, I was,
Okay. So you were.
and was struggling because I was also an entrepreneur at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were thinking, should I stay here or should I make a pivot and go into another direction,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so you seeing your aunties on your dad's side, seeing that they were in the cosmetic industry, in the hairstylist industry, and said like, okay, I can um, emulate them and do what they're doing, or I can continue doing my business. I mean, I'm doing college, and you decided to. Um,
And see, I
yeah.
think what most of us forget is we have to ask ourselves the question: is school the right now thing for me to do?
Mhm.
School was not the right now thing for us to do because keep in mind at 18 years old, I co-owned a flower shop.
Mm.
And so money looked different to me.
Right.
I had the immediate money where, somebody was waiting 4 years to get that paper to go get the job that paid them the money that I was making.
Mhm.
So I chose a trade before the degree.
Yeah.
But thank God I'm here. I'm back in school. It's a
Yeah.
lot.
Awesome. So you're going back and getting that degree now.
Yes.
And what?
I absolutely love marketing. It's something that I feel like I do well.
Yeah.
I can market now. And so I feel like it's only right that I go get this marketing degree and finish.
Awesome. That's
Yes.
dope. And I asked that question because I also had the opportunity to skip college and work, right?
Mhm.
So my dad worked in construction, right? He's a
Wow.
construction manager. And so he helped me to get a summer job working construction. And so every summer that I was in college, I worked construction. Like that was the
Mhm.
thing. And so they got to know me, the people I was working with, they
Mhm.
got to know me, got to know like what my goals were and all that good stuff.
Yes.
And so they gave me a raise one summer. And
Wow.
so I was making $16 an hour with that raise plus per diem. And per diem just means like you get money just for showing up.
That's right.
Right. And so I was making $16 an hour. I was probably pocketing like a little bit over $1,000
See,
every week.
these are the hard decisions
Right.
that people like us have to choose in
Yeah.
life. Where the money looks good
Right. The
and it's
money looks
feeding us,
good.
and we living a little bit better, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm 19, 20 years old at this time. I was staying with my dad because my dad had his RV on site. So I was staying with him. Didn't have
Wow.
any bills or anything like that. I'm making money.
Yes.
And so I'm like, yo, I want to like take off a semester
Mhm.
and keep making this money. But my
Mhm.
mom was like, nah, bro. Like you
I like
you
the
right.
mamas.
Right. She like, no, you staying in college, you getting this degree and even to this day, I still look back at that, and I'm like, I was, when I got out of college, I was making the same amount of money I was making when I was doing
Mhm.
construction.
Mhm.
I'm like, if money was the end goal, I could have just kept,
That's
doing
right.
this. But what I realized from college is that I made so many connections, right? Right.
See.
Yep. But that's definitely, if I had the choice to make on my own, like
Mhm.
if my mom would have came to me and just said like, hey, like you have a choice, I would have chose to kept making that
Yes.
money because like you said, it's different when
It
you that
is.
age.
It is different.
Yeah.
We're all in, and we're doing that one thing. We're
Mhm.
not going class to class, subject to subject, learning in depth things that
Mhm.
will help shape us for whatever it is that we're trying to do. And so, which is so funny. I'm learning so much by, going back to school. I'm like, oh, dog, this is so enlightening. Like, this is where this came from.
Mhm.
Or I feel like I can talk a little bit different or talk
Yeah.
more about a certain subject because I know the ins and outs for it
And
because
you
I'm
got that life
studying it.
experience.
And
Yeah.
coupled with that life
Yeah.
experience, it makes it better conversation when you're speaking with people that is already in your area or that has a higher degree.
Yeah.
It's a different conversation
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah. And that's that's great because like it's a different perspective if you
Hmm.
already have that life experience and then you go to college.
Yes.
And so like whenever you get that knowledge, or first you figured out what you were good at and
Yeah.
then you went into that into schooling to get the degree.
Yeah.
Like you figured out that I'm a great marketer,
Mhm.
so let me get a degree and learn more about marketing.
Mhm.
I think that's a great perspective on like that's a great like roadmap of
Mhm.
like if you do decide to go like the alternative route,
Mhm.
get the experience first, and then know what you want to do, and then go into that industry and like get that degree,
Yeah.
and do it. So I think that's actually a pretty dope perspective, and if people can do that and have the finances or whatnot to do it, then I definitely would be a proponent of that. That's
Yes.
dope. That's dope.
You want to hear something?
What's up?
So I took my product up to my school
Mhm.
because I wanted to do a professional day,
Mhm.
and the counselor's like, "Have you ever thought about marketing?" I said, "The crazy thing was I was in here to change my major to marketing because I knew that's where I'm better at."
Mhm.
So they're courting me around the school, showing me the program, and they was like, "This is where you belong." I said, "Oh, I knew it. I just thought I needed to be here, but now that you have shown me the complete program, had I not been off that day to go into the school to kind of present and I did. They want to do this professional day at the school where I'm teaching women and men
Mhm.
how to present themselves, going out into the community to look the part.
Right.
And so it just made so much sense. And I'm so glad that the Lord confirmed it with these counselors and the teacher that I ended up meeting to say, this is where you need to be.
Mhm.
Especially after them finding out I was getting ready to open up a store.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sorry, I took too much.
No, you good. No, you good. This is a great conversation.
Yeah.
That's what I told you before. Like we
Yeah.
just talking, we just chopping it up, getting your story out there,
Yeah.
right? So let's jump back into your story. So you
Okay.
made this decision to actually leave school and go into cosmetology and start your own hair beauty shop,
Yeah, beauty
correct?
salon.
Beauty salon. And so, what did you know what that looked like before you took that step, or you just
Mm.
jumped out
I've always been a daredevil, and I know that a lot of people. I've had a lot of people say like, I don't know what you're gonna do that day. Like you be on this, and then tomorrow you didn't went here. I
there?
mean, that's the life of an entrepreneur, especially somebody that's passionate about what they do. I did not have an ounce of understanding of how to run a business. I just knew the rent got to be paid, the light needs to be paid, and I need supplies, and I needed customers. So, with common sense and the Holy Spirit, it just ended up working, always working out for me.
Mhm.
And so I will say, I have had the 20 years worth of clientele, the same clientele. Now it's different now because I'm in Whitehaven and my times have changed,
Mhm.
and I'm glad God did it that way because now I get to run my business strictly off faith.
Mhm. Awesome. So you mentioned that you're a daredevil
Yeah. Mhm.
and you basically like jump to things and then figure it out later, right?
Mhm.
What do you think that's in you that like that gives you that bravery to do so? Because I'm the same way, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I jump from thing to thing and
Mhm.
like, but now I'm like really focused. It seems like you
Yeah.
are now
Oh
like just
yeah.
really focused.
Yeah.
But like it took us going from one thing to another thing that led to another thing that led to another thing
Mhm.
for us to get to this point. So,
Mhm.
like, what do you think that is, or do you think you were trying to like find something like from jumping place to place, and then when you found it,
Mhm.
you got focused?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say I jumped place to place. I just knew that if I wanted to be where I saw myself in my mind, I had to make big jumps.
Right.
And so let's say I was at somebody's salon. Okay, why can't I have a salon? So what I would do is save my money up and I went and put a lease out.
Yeah.
I saw my grandmother just my grandmother, the way we learned by watching, and it was a lot of stuff she just did in faith. And I mean, having to go to church Wednesdays, Sundays, and Bible study on Saturdays. I just you hear the message. Like there's a message playing that's been played behind you
Mhm.
all your life. You got somebody that's telling you how you need to, present yourself, how you need to be, how you need to go for it. And that's how my family, pushed me. If this is something you want, you need to do it. My mother was my biggest advocate. Hey, if this is something you want, do it. So I just saw my grandmother and my mom work for it, and so I coupled with their offerings, I ended up doing the same thing. I knew I could do it. If I wanted it, it was gonna get done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's dope, man. So walk me through like when you made that decision.
hmm
How did you get the building for your salon, and what was it like getting that first customer in the door?
Okay, you mean the first salon?
Yeah, the first
Oh
salon.
my
Yeah.
gosh. I can remember getting about to be laid off. I was working for True Green Kimlon in their IT department, and they were like, "Hey, y'all just need to ride the wave." And I'm like, "Ride the wave? Like we're about to get laid off." It was a lot of people that did not handle it well, but I knew that I had some money saved up. I had just paid off my Toyota Corolla. I love that car, and that I just needed to go for it. I think that gusto from just again seeing my mother and grandmother, face challenges and things, it just gave me a spark to go for it. And I can remember hosting the grand opening, and it just blew my mind. Actually, I called it a shop warming party. And I'm like, why did I call it a shop warming party? Well,
Like a
I knew
housewarming.
exactly. I knew people would bring, gifts or
Yeah.
give money and things like that. And that's exactly what happened. I had the confidence at that moment seeing all those people show up and support me. That everything that I was putting in this new shop, it was called Take One. It's still called Take One. It's out in Bartlett next to Andy B's Bowling Alley. Hey, Miss Stephanie, if you still own it. But it was the cutest shop, and people were coming. And I'm just glad I had that opportunity.
Nice, nice. So you worked with Take One,
Yes,
and that's when you got your first client and actually started working and doing hair.
exactly.
That's how you got your start, right?
That's how I got my start.
Okay. So when you left Take One,
hmm
what did that look like? Did you leave it to start your own thing, or like you
Okay.
know?
So I actually own Take One.
Okay, you the
And
boss of Take One.
yeah,
Okay,
I'm the boss at this point. And
okay,
so
gotcha.
now I will say, let me backtrack because I think we probably missing a link. I did work for other salons,
Okay.
but I knew it was time for me to venture out. And the type of money that I wanted to make, necessarily, you don't have to go out to where houses and things like that cost more because people will come, in areas that are, a little different than what
Mhm.
you're hoping for. But
Right.
yeah, when I own Take One, I put that lease application in and
Mhm.
let the Lord do the rest. And I was under Zalowitz um, real estate or something like that. And Mr. Sam Zalowitz, he took a chance on me,
Mhm.
and he came and collected that first payment, security deposit,
Mhm.
and it was sealed and done. But I ended up selling because a lot of people don't realize you could sell the whole business
Yeah.
and the contents, and you know, I ended up selling after a year.
Oh wow.
Yes, because it was a lot going on.
Yeah.
I owned a home in
Mhm.
Mississippi, but had an apartment in Cordova. A
Mhm.
family member needed me, and so therefore I had to, help them make through some life changes.
Got you. Got
hmm
you. So after you sold the business,
Yeah.
right? And so What did you do after you sold the business? Did you
Hmm.
jump right back into the business, or did you take some time off?
I never left.
You
I
never left.
never left.
Mm.
I always would still had a place where that I owned,
Mhm.
and I what I did was, and I was getting a little greedy. I would work for somebody.
Mhm.
But the sad thing was working for people having that double income. Most jobs are a little intimidated when you own something.
Mm.
And when it's almost like they look at you like you don't need us. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I mean, I
Mhm.
have the skill set to be here. Trust that I can do this, but sometimes they want you 110% in for them and not yourself.
Yeah. So that's a tricky part, right? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Even
Yeah.
for those that work in like corporate America or just,
Yeah.
or any job, any 9 to 5
Mhm.
job, if you are doing something on, I guess, even on your own time, and they find out about it, they might feel like threatened that, oh, they're gonna leave, and then have to give you that, I guess, ultimatum to choose, like
Yeah.
whether it's us or it's you. And
Mhm.
of course,
Mhm.
being the entrepreneurs that we are, we
Yeah.
always gonna choose us.
Yeah.
And so, that's dope. And I'm assuming you
I've
showed yourself
always
as well.
chosen myself.
Yeah.
I hate that these CEOs are a little intimidated by little old me and the big heart that I bring. I actually, you know what it did, and I just have to be transparent. It hurt my feelings
Mhm.
because when you want to see everybody win, that
Mhm.
has always been my heart. I want to see everybody win. I don't care that you own $1 million corporation. If I say I'm there to do a job, I'm there to do a job,
Mhm.
and I'm giving it my all. But guess what? I hate that you hate that I'm giving me something in return.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. How do you navigate that? Because I know, like you said, and I appreciate you being vulnerable and say like, "Hey, I was hurt because I'm giving you my all, and now I'm trying
Hmm.
to give myself something. Now you're trying to take that away from me.
Yeah.
So how do you navigate a situation like that?"
You know, you just it's like you can shrug it off, but are
Mhm.
you really shrugging it off? I
Mhm.
think you have to really truly go within. You have to I ask a lot of questions like, what am I doing wrong? Because
Mhm.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
But I just day by day let it just roll off my back, you
Okay,
know? Mhm.
I got you. Okay. Um, yeah, that's deep, and so I'm putting myself in your shoes and like
Mhm.
just thinking like, a manager coming to me and saying like, "Hey, I see you doing this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you to do that no more. I want you to just focus 100% on what
Yeah.
we got going on here and
Mhm.
how I may feel." And I know me personally, I would take it personal,
I
and like
did.
right, and like like if I'm doing great work here, why are you trying to stop me from doing great work for myself? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
that's tough, man. That's a tough situation. And
Mhm.
so I commend you for actually, going through that. And I know you handled it the best way that you knew how, like at the time. And like I
Yeah.
know you personally, like the big heart that you have. So and it sucks that it had to come to that. You had to make that decision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's you can look at it this way. It's more so like they're pushing you to go ahead and like follow your dreams and go after what you actually want in this life.
I don't.
You know?
I don't look at it like that.
Okay, how you look at it?
I look at it like, you know, you okay, I'll see it your way. I
Mm,
will because
mm,
this person, the last person did say, see, I knew I was right. You were not right
mm,
because I was doing a great work there.
mm,
And if someone is doing a great work there in that position and helping the company to flourish and changing lives,
mm.
then you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It that was kind of ironic. So
yeah.
it's weird, but
Right.
I am glad because what I did say was just kind of how you said. I said, you know what? This may be the Lord telling me I
Mhm.
need you to go ahead and go because it's not going to work with that person. As
Right.
long as their heart is like that or whatever they have in place, you'll never be able to move forward into the deep and where you're supposed to go. So
Mhm.
take this energy that you've been putting and feeding, into this company and feed it into yours.
Mhm.
But what I need you to do is walk by faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. And you are already great. Like you have greatness in you anyway. So anything that you do is going to be great, whether it's working for somebody else or working for your company. And that's what they fail to realize. Like you're gonna be great regardless.
Yeah.
And they're gonna see it. They already see it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's gonna see it, especially when they watch this podcast. They're gonna see your greatness shine through.
Yeah.
So let's jump back into your story,
Yes.
right? So you're working for people,
Yeah.
and you have your own business still.
Mhm.
So what's that next step? So to getting your other building.
Oh my goodness. So I wouldn't say I have a problem with getting funding or anything because I absolutely could go find a building. And I kind of asked my husband this the other day. Hey, what do you think about us? You know, maybe buying a home that is set for commercial space or buying a small building. And he was like, "No, baby, I don't think that's what we want. We actually want another house, and we're gonna get it, but." I understand, so as long as I have, we're going higher, and that higher is um, getting into other stores and making waves and going nationally. Because I've been doing some traveling. I don't know if you've seen it.
I've seen it.
I've been doing some traveling, getting this product out there, but we are working.
Awesome. So with COVID came, right? So and when you had your salon, so and you pivoted,
Yeah.
you changed strategy. So you went from like doing hair in a salon to makeup, correct?
Yes,
So
selling it on Facebook. Yes.
okay, so tell me about that transition. And well, first tell me, how did you see like this is where I need to pivot? And how did you know like makeup is what to pivot to?
Right. I think it was just something that I chose. So I saw women making wigs. I'm like, okay, let me make these wigs. So I made wigs and I would put them on myself and I would pose and people were buying them. I was like, Lord, this is getting good. Like, you telling me something. But then I was like, you know what? Everybody loves a good lip. I had just did a photo shoot in Miami for Ivory and Oak and it was for the magazine Mona Lucci, international, magazine around weddings. And the young lady was like, "Angie, you need a product." I was like, "I do." Like, I mean, she younger than me, far more advanced in that area. And so I said, "You know what? I'm gonna do a lipstick." And I went for lipsticks, but we're not even on lipsticks anymore. We on foundations and concealers and brow pomade and vitamin sprays and just all these types of things. But I just saw people selling things on Facebook, and I'm like, that could be me too if I go for it. And here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you started with lipstick.
Yeah.
And then you continue to add these other products, right? How was it like selling the lipsticks first? Like when you first made the product, how was it like actually just putting it out there and getting sales?
So I did my own photo shoot, and I knew natural sun, y'all. Natural sun is the best lighting, and I put all these different hues on, and I would take this picture with my phone and go in the house and edit the picture so you can see the quality and the hue of the lipstick. And people were like, "I want this, I want this, I want this." I sold out of everything in one day, 24 hours.
Wow.
And did it again. Third time, supply chain got slow. And I'm like, oh no. I tell people, it's coming. It was taking, even the mail was, just everything's slow.
Yeah. That's because of the pandemic, right?
Because everybody ordering everything. Nothing was moving, like it should. But it's okay.
Right.
It got greater.
Yeah. Awesome. So we have lipstick. You're selling now. How did you know to add another product? And which product did you add?
Oh goodness. I knew. Okay, so the second product that I actually added were foundations. I had mineral powders and then I had the liquid. I knew that, if everybody in Memphis were buying these same old lipsticks, okay, that's fine. But they needed something else. Like, we need to build. Like, this can't just be a one-time thing. And people be like, well, what happened to the lipsticks? Well, baby, the lipsticks still here, but we growing. When you grow, it's like people see you in a whole nother light. And especially 3 years post-pandemic, it's like, oh my gosh, you got what now? Yeah. So we added the foundations. The foundations were slowly received because they weren't received because we guess what? We had on masks, and so people were not putting makeup all over their face.
That
But
makes
they
sense.
but they'll put on some lipstick,
Yeah.
you know. But there we had it.
That's interesting because, like you said, we were in a pandemic.
Mhm.
People were wearing masks at that time,
Yeah.
which covers up
Mhm.
most of their face, like the
Yeah.
bottom half of their face. So how do you think like your lipstick stood the test of time, like in a pandemic where people are actually covering their face?
And see that, y'all, I was kind of strategic. I knew I didn't want to get a moisturizing lipstick
Mhm.
because the moisturizing lipstick would be all over the mask. So I did a matte lipstick.
Mm.
So let's say you were in a room where you 6 feet apart and you could take down your mask.
Mhm.
People be like, "Oh, I love that lipstick you got going on," but people were not trying to do their whole face for some reason.
Yeah.
Of having to go, in and out of business and conduct business. They just
Mhm.
didn't want that at that time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they knew when they put on your lipstick, it wouldn't come off on the mask. So
Mhm.
they were comfortable with wearing it with the mask on because they
Mhm.
knew when they take it out, at least
Mhm.
at least my lips still look good.
And you know what was so funny were getting all the product reviews and people sending their pictures. Like they were them best sales at home, and they probably bought a shirt from somebody that was selling it online, and they were zhuzhing up their hair. Maybe some people cut their hair off, maybe whatever.
Yeah.
But the point was they were supporting the brand, wearing the brand, and making it a whole big thing. They were making a fuss out of it.
Awesome, awesome.
Mhm.
So when did you actually start blowing up? Like, you know, what was it like, how did you feel when you started saying like, oh, people really they feeling me, like they feeling these
Yeah.
products. So yeah.
Okay, so in entrepreneur, yeah, you gonna blow up like when you put it out there, but you gotta know it's gonna be some slow periods. So don't ever get the big head. It's been highs and lows to this thing, but the thing is, you gotta keep like children. You gotta keep kids' attention. You gotta, you wear them down. I'm like, let me wear these people down. Um, so say it one more time because I want to make sure I answer the question like you asked
Yeah.
it.
So how did you feel like when you started seeing like people really like my product? Like I'm
Yeah.
starting to get some traction.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
back now, y'all. So, y'all, I would do these makeup classes. I would give all the information away free because, okay, I felt good.
Mhm.
Tropical Smoothie would let me come in upstairs and host these classes. And I would have let's say this is the makeup, the table that all of my makeup was on. He had a tablecloth on it, branded, and it had the makeup sitting intricately, in place and just beautiful. And I would give them all this information for free, showing them how to use my products. And then guess what?
What?
Sell out. It was like 700, 500,000, And I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, it was only an hour and I did this much? Because people were like, I want to get back to, like you did good. Like this was a good class. And I'm like, oh, I got the big head for a minute. It felt great for people to, you know, accept my product, the way that they did. And so that's it,
Yeah. Yeah. So you were we had tropical smoothie, right?
Yeah.
You got your table set out, you got your makeup laid out, you giving a presentation on your
Yeah.
makeup, right?
Mhm.
How did you get these people to come in, right?
Mhm.
Like, was it like all word of mouth? Was it social media? Like, how did you get the word out there?
So, the power of social media is so wonderful, y'all. And not only social media, Eventbrite.
Mhm.
So on Eventbrite, you can make things free. So I'm like, we're gonna do this complimentary makeup class, and I will have the little Canva story artwork that I did going, and then I posted on my page. I'm coming. And you see all these names coming through, and all these people saying that they're gonna show up. It was wonderful, but that's how I got my name out. It
Yeah.
was Facebook, Instagram, developing a professional page. All
Yeah.
of those things work together.
Awesome. And let me ask you this. So, did you have to put in a lot of money to actually make that happen? Or was it like minimum money but maximum effort, if that makes sense?
I'm gonna say, well, my first investment was 3,000,
Okay.
and the return on it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And so I think that's minimal
Hmm.
investment, but maximum, for your buck.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Okay, that's dope. And the 3,000 was like products or
yeah,
like what did you spend on like marketing? Like I know you
nothing because I
nothing.
did it all myself. It's
Gotcha.
like I knew I had an eye for certain things.
Mhm.
Like if you make it certain colors, I knew I didn't want to use red. And then I looked at my competitors and
Mhm.
what color choices they were using and were not using, and how they laid things out. I tried to emulate, but do it in my own unique way so
Right.
that people will be attracted to Still Divine.
Right. Awesome. Great point. What made Steel Divine different than all the other makeup competitors out there?
First of all, the name.
Mhm.
Um, I'm playing on words. And my little slogan is makeup that allows you to still be you.
Mhm.
Still is my old last name,
Yeah.
and so that right there. So the brand, the people that I decided to use as brand ambassadors. My main brand ambassador is Brianna Wigley. She now lives
Okay.
in Texas, and we just visited her last week.
Nice.
She had a big following, and me wearing it and then pulling in a couple of other people, Sable Otay,
Mhm.
she went to the Olympics,
Yeah.
and was a school
I
teacher
know
here in
her.
Memphis.
Yeah.
Yes, a great person. I call her cousin. Hey, cousin.
Yeah.
And so just making sure I did test Fenty products,
Mhm.
and that's Rihanna's, and I measured it against mine. So I'm sitting at home buying other people's products, and
Mhm.
then, just kind of like, okay, how does this make me feel? Did I break out after it? Did,
Yeah.
did it allow me to look like me? Was it, on point with skin tone and just things like that?
Yeah.
Or so those were the things. I just looked at how, Kat Von D and all these other people were putting their things out
Mhm.
and tailored mine to, okay, I like this about theirs, but let me make sure mine don't have this much oil in it, or it doesn't have this much of this product in it, so that it
Mhm.
can lay more on the face and people can be happy.
Yeah. So you really put that work in
Uh-huh.
to study your competitors, one,
Mhm.
and two, like figure out how you're gonna make yours different, not just different, but better than theirs. Like, and you tried it on, you
Mhm.
tested it, so it wasn't like, oh, I just came up like with these like
Right.
nice colors or anything. I'm gonna put it on my lip and like get out there and sell it.
Yes.
No, you actually put in the real work to
Yep.
make sure that you're not like any other regular company
Yes.
that just might just jump out there
Right.
and not know anything. You
Right.
know what I mean? You spoke about your brand ambassadors, right? And
Mhm.
so like how did you get your brand ambassadors and like what was that process like? How did you identify them?
That was a stroke of luck because Brianna is actually, I knew her and her mom I knew her mom first, but Brianna was probably 8 years old,
Mm.
and I had not seen her in years. So I go to this birthday party, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you got so big, you're beautiful, this, that, and the other. She was like, here, just follow me. And I'm like, this girl is killing it with this vegan game.
Mhm.
And she was a bodybuilder. She was just wonderful. She was a little video or something. But when I tell you she got heart and strength, I just knew she actually came to me with it. She said, if you ever need anybody that'll model your product
Mhm.
and that could do all this stuff, like I'm very savvy, and it made sense. I was like, you know what? Not that I rode her coattail, but I told her, I said, you know what? I would like to market to women that body builds and
Mhm.
women that are that practice veganism and things like that, because my
Mhm.
products were gluten free
Mhm.
and were able to be used by women that probably well, we got to say all by makeup lovers that were
Mhm.
vegans.
Right.
So I just it made sense, and the moment we did the first photo shoot, it was like people it went crazy. Like
Yeah.
people like following me and following her, more so her, because they didn't know this brand at first.
Right.
And then as we started developing, how we were gonna set everything up, it just started
Oh, that's dope.
rolling. Mhm.
That's dope. And it's fascinating to me that you weren't the one that approached her. Like she actually approached you and was like,
Yeah.
hey, I got a following. If you ever need me to be an
Mhm.
ambassador for you, let
Mhm.
me know and we
Yes.
can do this thing together.
Yes.
Right. And you actually took that model and continued to replicate her, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so tell me about that. Like you saw that it was working with Brianna
Yeah.
and now it's like if it worked with her, it can work with somebody else
Yes,
too.
I like Sable. I wanted strong women,
Hmm.
strong women, women of different, backgrounds, women of different colors, shades of color, that kind of had the look,
Hmm.
You're naturally pretty, but if I put this makeup on you, you definitely still look like you. You just look enhanced, not beat. There's a difference between enhanced and beat.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, I gotta tell you this. So Brianna is in town, and right before she moved, didn't even know Brianna was pregnant. This is crazy because there's a whole transitional moment. Oh Lord! And so we're doing our Christmas photo shoot at the guest house at Elvis Presley. Guess who was there?
Who was that?
Miss America.
Oh,
They were doing the Miss America pageant across the street, and they stopped and asked me like, "What makeup brand is this?" Every one of them got something. It was like, "Can you show up tonight? Like, we want to make sure that we put you on," and therefore we did.
Oh, that's dope right there. So you just happen to be in the right place at the right time when that happened. That's literally like one of those God things.
It's
Like,
God wing.
yeah. He's like he's looking out for you, and like I guess it's like confirmation. It's like, hey, like this is what I need to do, right? And so when you showed up to that Miss American pageant, like they shouted you out, and like, did you get any more?
No, it wasn't even a shout out. It was like be in the room.
Oh, be
Like,
in the room. Yeah.
a lot of times we're wondering like, how do we get in these doors? Like, get out. Be seen, but sometimes don't be heard. Absorb everything. I met this great lady named Sandra Lynn. She was the makeup artist that they had flown from Chicago. That's who noticed me. She was like, "Girl, yeah, we need you. Like, you come, I'm gonna put you." It was another black woman that opened up the door to say, "You need to be here. Like, come tonight. If you got any product, put it in their hands because these ladies have their own following, and you want to make sure that if they like the product, that they are reciprocating by shouting it out." And actually, one of the black girls, uh, competitors, Miss Delaware, actually made sure she tagged the page, and I still have that post to this day. Like, I'm not letting it go because it means so much to me. There was a point where I feel like God showed up to say, "I'm here for you if you want it."
Yeah.
But in steps.
Yeah.
And in my timing.
Yeah. That's dope right there. And any of these points, is that where you realize that like, or just start to get a grip on like this is actually how you market, this is actually how you put your business out there and get people to notice it, or was that always like your thing? Like, did you always know like this could work out?
I did feel like, and I said this the other day: consistency, consistency, consistency. I did my first live Saturday around business and things like that. So I'm back, y'all. I'm about to talk, and y'all gonna hear me loud and clear. But I just knew that if I was consistent, that people would catch on. It's like going in watching TV at 12 o'clock. You're gonna always have that commercial. Are you sick and tired of being on your job? Are you looking for a new route in life? You remember those commercials?
Right.
And then you will hear so much that it has brainwashed you, and then you're like, let me call Delta Medical and get enrolled somewhere. Or maybe it was a cereal commercial or something. You got to be consistent and at the right time. And so that's just how it happened for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. One last thing I want to cover, and then we'll get into like if you have like anything else that we missed. But you started making these makeup palettes, right?
Oh yeah.
And started like getting those out there. You made one specifically for Memphis. If I recall, it's the Big Memphis.
Yeah.
Well, you called it Big Memphis,
Yeah.
right? So how did you come up with that idea to make a makeup palette specific for Memphis and also specific for like any other industry or company? Like, yeah, what gave you that
Oh my
idea?
goodness. So yeah, I got the fast, and it was like the Holy Spirit. I mean, this is this a Christian page?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. We
Okay.
rev God in here.
Okay, we rev God, y'all.
Yeah.
So I got the fasting, and it was like I could tell that my life was about to go through a transition, but I knew I needed to make this, and it just downloaded. You need to cater to your city, and I was like, oh my gosh, Grizzly, University of Memphis. What is it? 901 day. We need this product. And so I can remember going in Canva looking for like the font to create the words Big Memphis. And I knew, I'm like, SteeleDivine got to be on there because we got to make sure SteeleDivine is, people know that SteeleDivine made this. And boy, when I did, it's like the heavens open. Then I did a 901 girl blue lipstick, and did I tell you like a company called and ordered like over 300 work of those lipsticks?
Oh wow.
Yes, and then Apologetic Memphis started marketing it for me, and then people started buying it. The news, Gina Neely, what's up, Gina? Ended up I went on, and people were that day. As soon as I think I got back to my phone, I was already getting orders. And then the website was there. People were already ordering. People had questions like, how can I get this big inboxing all on Instagram? So it was just that fast. I think when I have my best thoughts when I let go of the wrong foods and get some rest and spend my time with God. It's like it downloads. And so it just worked.
Awesome. Awesome. Could you tell me like 3 steps? Like if I had a product and I'm trying to market it and get it out there to the people, like what 3 steps can I take to actually get the word out there for it?
Okay, get the word out there for it. Oh, you said 3 steps. One, you gotta understand your brand and industry. A lot of people try to get in industries that they have no clue about. Number two, you definitely want to get around people that are doing the same thing as you.
Community.
Yes, you're gonna build your community. I love that. Because your community can help you really determine if not like if you were selling, trying to put out a product, I wouldn't say I don't like it. I'm like, okay, well, why don't you do it like this? People can tell you like, if it was me buying it, I would do it like this. I would want that, and you can learn from it. And then number three, I would definitely start building more community by going back out into the public, almost like how Avon did it. Avon hired people in, which SteeleDivine does, brought people in to sell the product to get it out to the community.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. That's dope. So we talked about your future. We talked about your past and where you came from. Where are you now with Still Divine? Like, where are you guys, and how can we help you to get to that dream, that future dream?
Yeah. So, this right here, this podcast is giving me a lot because it's called exposure. Um, that's what I need. I need more exposure, and you have to put yourself in different places and spaces to do that. But we're not hurting for any money. We just need the people to know who we are, what we stand for, and all of our offerings. So, we want to get in the stores, in the bigger stores, but guess what? Before we even put it in the no, because sometimes you can take that jump, and we have. Like we're in Harbor Town Pharmacy. We have been in Crosstown. We are in a place and space in South Haven, but we got it's like if if it's not happening here in this small little pocket that I have in White Haven, we're gonna go higher anyways, regardless, because that's what we're called to do. You're called to multiply and grow.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for that.
Yeah. Speaking of growing, you're opening up another location in Dallas, right?
So what happened was, okay, so no, not yet.
Okay.
I don't want anybody to be confused by that. But what we did was we have been traveling. We've taken our product outside of Memphis. And so an investment of $125 multiplied way over expectations.
Yeah.
We couldn't we bought a hotel room, we rented a truck to put all my products in. But you know what? God showed up and showed out on our behalf. Still Divine represented. The marketing was good.
Yeah.
People bought so much that I'm like, you know what, baby, I think we need to move to Texas. Or if we don't move to Texas, it needs to be in a store in Texas. So I'm reaching out to see how we can get this done, because it was people that wanted that product and have been tagging us, about the product and what all it does for them.
Yeah. So if you're out there in Texas, or if you
Yes.
know a way to get my girl out there and help her out, get her store out, like we'll greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
So did we cover everything, or is there anything else you'd like to cover, like as far as the story?
You want me to leave them with some words of encouragement?
Yeah, that's what we're about to do. Leave them with some word of encouragement.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want me to go now? You want to?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So
This floor is yours.
okay, thank you for this floor and this opportunity, Mike. hey friends, and hey boo friends.
Boo friends.
Yes, that's my catchphrase. I want you all to know that, you may start small, but you can end big. And it's all in what you put into your product, your service, whatever offerings that you have. Have faith in this thing. Do the work. Like, actually research the industry. Know what the ups and downs are, the risks that you're about to take. Have you some money on the side because, you know, thank God I'm married, but I hadn't always been married and have always funded myself, but I have somebody behind me. Like, baby, go ahead and make that investment. I got the bills. But make sure that you believe in you. You got to be your number one fan. So, therefore, go and do.
Awesome. Be your number one fan.
Hmm.
Where can the people find you at?
Okay. So, of course, I am on all social media handles under SteeleDivine Cosmetics. SteeEle, and SteeleDivineCosmetics.com will get you directly to me. You can even talk to me on our website by asking, how answer the question, how can we help?
Awesome. That's dope, y'all. This has been another dope episode of the I Got Dreams podcast. Remember to follow us on all social media at I Got Dreams podcast everywhere. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to all our channels and give us feedback, y'all. Like, we're going to continue to have these conversations, continue to grow together as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as business leaders. Hey, and this podcast is here to help you get from A to B,
Yes.
to help you start and
Just grow.
grow. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You know.
Yeah, to help you start and grow your business. And so again, like and follow us on all social media platforms. This has been another great episode. Hey, I love y'all. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Peace.
Bye.
Bam. Thank you for listening to this episode. I know you just received a lot of value. So look, here's what I want you to do now. Go to our social media platforms on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok at I Got Dreams Podcast everywhere, and like, comment, subscribe to all those channels, and let's continue the conversation on there. Look, I told you before, we are creating the ultimate accountability group for entrepreneurs, and we want you to be a part of that group. So go ahead, like, comment, subscribe to our channels at I Got Dreams Podcast everywhere, and we'll see you there. Peace.